It's Alex Belfield on your favourite local radio station, talking to one of my favourite people ever, Caroline.
Oh, I love being here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Creator of Pam Ann, one of my favourite characters, comedy genius. She's got a brand new DVD out.
I'm so excited.
You're the star of British Airways.
Oh, look, just where does it end?
I told you your career would take off one day.
See, literally.
You see?
Literally.
Wasn't that clever? Take off?
I'm going to take off down to HMV. I'm going to wait out the front of the store for those DVDs to arrive. I'm so excited.
How are you, Caroline? Because you've had a busy year. You never stop touring. You're one of these acts that quietly goes around the country selling out venues. There aren't many people can do that, are there?
Oh, that's really nice of you to say so. I know I sneak around. Shh, here I come, York. Take them by surprise before they know it. They're like, what was that? What did we just see? Was that an air hostess?
It's a miserable existence, so isn't it, going from theatre to theatre, staying in these horrible hotels and then going in dodgy dressing rooms?
Look, I love it. It's fantastic. But it can, like, after 3 months, you know, and then you're going to one pretty, you know, that's just life on the road, isn't it? No, I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's exciting because you're going somewhere different every day and it keeps you on your toes. You know, you have to deliver all the time.
I'm a huge fan of the character comedians, those that come on stage, like the Lily Savages, and they put so much effort into this act and the character, and they can go into it at any point. Would you rather be sat here as Pam Ann with all the muck and the makeup on now, or are you happy being you?
Well, I'm happy. It's easier. But, you know, that too is fine. You know, I could dress up as Pam and it would be fun to do that as well.
I was looking forward to the wig today. I'm rather disappointed.
Yeah, I know. It's at home. I just came back from LA. I bought 6 new ones.
Did you really?
Yeah, bigger and better.
And who did you fly with?
British Airways.
Did you get upgraded?
No, well, they try. It was full.
That's always a frustrating thing when they put a requested upgrade on your ticket, an RQ, which is the favourite 2 letters on any ticket, and then you find out it's full.
It's full. First class was full. I was in club.
Now you're just being ridiculous. What's wrong with that? That's like upper business class for every other airline, isn't it?
Yeah, it's their first class, really. You know, British Airways do a good club service.
Now, for those who don't know, what you are is an air stewardess, your character Pam Ann, and she just basically talks about what it is to be a stewardess, and you harangue the audience, who seem to be mainly made up of people on the other bus and people who work for airlines. It's remarkable.
It is remarkable. And hens parties.
Yes.
That's a new thing. I think they're coming out from Luton. And, you know, they have their little bobble things on their head. So it's a... Yeah, the show is covers like all the different airline hostesses from, you know, all different. So there's Virgin, British Airways, EasyJet, scheduled to chartered airlines, you know, the Golden Runway at Terminal 4. So it sort of just touches on everything you can imagine about travel. And this DVD is about all of that, all of those sort of characters.
What you do so cleverly is put your finger exactly on the way that people are treated the minute that they get out of the car at the terminal building. If you're going business, you get treated better.
Yes.
If you're going first, you get treated much better. And if you're like the rest of us and in cattle class, you're treated like a sheep.
Who are you? You're nothing. You're invisible. You're absolutely nothing. If you're in first class, you'll get licked. You'll get licked to sleep, darling. And in club world, you might get a nice pat.
Why this character? Why not a taxi driver or a builder or something?
I don't know. That's a thought. Like, it was just one of those things. I like the jet set, the 60s, the whole era of flying back then. And then sort of over the years, you know, travel just broadened, and there was terrorism. People could fly more. There's more airlines. And then there's all the new business class airlines. So it's just the material, somehow it's just got... Because I remember years ago someone said, this is a one-trick pony, this isn't going to work. You know, so many people would say that to me. And I was like, yeah, but maybe not. Because, look, you know, now there's this and this. So the material's just got richer and richer. So now I'm sort of heading towards, you know, I've dealt with all the cabin crew and the variations of cabin crew. So now I want to sort of hit the immigration and security. because there's so much there with that. I mean, I was just coming through Los Angeles, and they're so paranoid. They made this woman, she had this beautiful hairdo. She had this big, beautiful sequin bow in it, a couple of clips, and they made her take it all out. And then she just stood there like Morticia. I was like, oh, that's so wrong. They're evil.
And also, why, when I fly into New York, do I have to have my toes x-rayed? I don't get it.
Oh, look, and don't do the iris. It's Big Brother, isn't it? Where are they? What more do they want?
And there's no humour in those places at all. You cannot be remotely sarcastic,
and in Australia, they have signs up at the check-in saying, security is not a joke. You know, you can't take... I mean, gone are the days that you could write bomb on a sick bag. I mean, and that was funny back in the 70s, you know? What happened to those good old days?
Let's talk about the DVD. It's in your stores now. I know it's going to do very well. If only people got to hear about it and got to know about it. How do you rate your career at the moment? You're very successful, but you do it quietly. It always amazes me. I get you on so many programmes and people say, God, she was hysterical. I've never heard of her. Yet you're filling theatres.
I don't get it either, but I think that I have a really good, loyal fan base that I love dearly, and it just builds and people talk and they come to the shows and they bring people and it's just one of those things. I think it's more word of mouth than it's TV, you know. So I'm very lucky in that respect that people, you know, they come along and they're like, whoa, and then they go and tell their other friends. So it's just built up. It's just built up over the years, you know. And I think it's starting in clubs in London years ago and hard yakka, you know, just working through and through and through. So it's not just been, you know, there it is. And I think it's just nurturing that over the years. So
the life of a stand-up is never easy, is it?
No, not at all. People are like, you know, I mean, I enjoy it. I love it. But it is it's a tough road to get to that level, I guess.
What about getting on something like Paul O'Grady in character or the Graham Norton show? I mean, they would be so perfect for you if you did your character. Will you get on those programmes? Do they want you on?
I think in the past it's one of those things where you, like you said, you know, people love coming to the shows. I mean, they sell out the UK, but I guess that I'm just not high profile enough as far as TV goes. So, and also maybe they're scared of my mouth.
That is a possibility.
So a bit filthy.
Your act is slightly crude. Lily Savage is outrageous, but Paul O'Grady manages to go on TV at 5 o'clock every night and entertain middle-aged housewives.
Well, you know, maybe that will be me one day.
The new Dame Edna.
The new Dame Edna. I'd love that. And, you know, I'd like to work on, you know, getting a TV show and things like that. It's definitely something that I've dreamt about and I'd love to do that.
Do you think it will ever happen, or at this point don't you care?
Well, I think you begin to think, well, I mean, I always think when your time's right, your time's right. So maybe the DVD comes out, they see it, they think, oh, actually, I think people also think Pam Ann, they've seen the name and they feel like they've seen it, but they don't know it. So I think maybe this is a good opportunity and, you know, down the track they'll think, oh, actually, she's okay. Let's get her on. So I think maybe it just hasn't been the right time. And maybe, you know, in the future, you know, they may sort of go, okay, let's have her on. Because
the act is mainstream. It's something that every single one of us can relate to.
Right, exactly. I just maybe need to stop swearing so much. Maybe that's it.
It is interesting, isn't it, when you look at Graham having seen his live show.
And he's filthy.
Because you're female, maybe they find that shocking?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I mean, I got pulled off a gig a couple of weeks ago. They cut my mic.
Really?
Yeah, and it was amazing. I've never had that happen before. And I was just like, I think had I been a guy and stand up and swearing, they can take that. But you're talking about middle-aged men in their 60s with a woman coming out. Sorry, guys. But they don't, I think when a woman's on stage and they're swearing or they lose this sort of control, I don't know what it is.
So what kind of venue were you doing that they felt it was appropriate to switch your mic on?
It was a corporate event.
Ah, right.
And so, you know, they can go horribly wrong anyway.
Well, they're all drunk for a start and they're not listening, so that's always a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
So at what point had you said something that appalled them?
Well, I think it was building up over a period of about 15 minutes. And I think someone had seen me in Norwich. And they said, but that wasn't what we saw in Norwich. I said, yes, it was exactly what you saw in Norwich. And then I think the people that hadn't seen me were just absolutely horrified at some of the curse words that I was saying. And I mean,
I don't get that, because having seen you several times, I don't ever remember being shocked by you.
Right.
Really, I don't.
Well, that's great to hear. And they were absolutely horrified. It was like a film, because I could just see these men in suits. There was about 4 of them. Big, fat men who just couldn't cope with this air hostess. They probably thought it was a stripper. And then they thought, who is she? What's she doing? And they just cut my mark. And I was in the middle of doing Lily, which is a Chinese character with the glasses on. So I had to somehow, which I can't see, get off the stage with the glasses on going, oh, so sorry. So sorry.
Brilliant.
And I walked off and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. And it was just very funny. And what I learned from that was you get paid up front and you can laugh all the way home.
Well, having said that, I get fired a lot, as you were aware.
Yeah,
I never stay in the same radio station for more than about 3 minutes. And it does hurt. My act doesn't change. It's as bad as it always has been.
Yeah.
So if they give me the job, I'm always surprised when they're shocked that they get the rubbish that they've bought in the first place.
Right.
So how do you feel on that journey home in the car? Do you just laugh it off, or do you take it personally?
I laugh. I mean, because it got paid very well. So I hope they're listening. I'll be lynched at some point, but I have to laugh. You can't take that stuff personally, you know. It's just a different group of people that just didn't get it. I think the audience were liking it, but I think when you see the heads of the company in a corporate, they're all looking at them, looking at you, so that they're actually unsure whether to laugh or not, because if they're laughing at the wrong things, they get sacked. So it's a weird thing, corporates. I don't do them really often. I won't be doing any more.
Caroline, it's lovely to talk to you. We're right up to the end. Thank you so much for coming on the programme.
Thanks for having me.
The new DVD by Pam Ann is in your stores now. It is fabulous. It is one of my favourite DVDs of the season. It is certainly one of the funniest. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
The Alex Belfield In Conversation podcast with daisymedia.co.uk.